Check one, two, check one, two. What is going on? I am here. It's your boy DH. Welcome to another episode of Circle Talk. And I am really excited about this person, young woman, doing amazing things here on the West Coast with her style of boxing training, her persona on how to carry herself as not only a coach, but as a mentor, as a role model, and a woman, strong woman at that. And so I'm really excited to have a conversation with Miss Coach Kammmm is her name. If you guys have never seen any of her videos, y'all need to head on over to Instagram and check her out because she's doing a lot of amazing things, making a lot of noise, and doing it in a professional way and throwing a little soft sexiness as well, and doing it in the right way versus the other way, which is obviously the part that we are trying to steer our kids away from. To watch her and working with these young men and women, from ages probably 4 or 5 to adults, is just a beautiful thing to watch. And we're going to jump into how this all transpired for her and what's next on her agenda as far as her expertise go, versatility goes, all that. So I'm going to bring her on right now. Right first, we're going to go ahead and hit our sponsors up. Thank you again to all the sponsors that continue to make this thing possible for Circle Talk. First off, iShotto.com. If you're locally in the Washington area looking for someone to get your pictures done, whether it's weddings, college graduation, high school graduation, high school headshots, whatever the case may be, my good friend Marvin Patterson is the guy that you want to call. Check out the pictures on my wall, me and my kids. He took those and every other picture in my house. An amazing guy. He'll meet you anywhere you want to go. He's got a great price right now. Summer is still going, so you can catch that discount. All you got to do is hit him up. Tell him David sent you. iShotto.com. Thanks again, Marvin, for being a part of this Circle Talk. Next, we have Icon ENT, my guy, Junior Willie Thomas. This guy is doing some amazing things right now. There are a lot of parties that are going on, end of summer parties, jumping into September, October parties that are going on, the all black party, all white party. All these things are happening real soon. And Icon ENT has put together a fleet of party buses for you to go to those actual events in style. So if you want to get in contact with Mr. Icon ENT himself, the mayor, Junior Thomas, all you got to do is hit him up, hit me up. And if you talk to him, tell him I sent you, and he's got a great discount for you and your party to go to these events. Football season as well. He's taking people up to the football game, so you could roll in style. Icon ENT. Last but not least, to Chaya Movement. Shout out to my girl Zakia. She has an event that she did last week at the Art Walk in Belltown. And this event featured artists from all over the area, bringing their own items that they have created from their own homes. And they have created an atmosphere of good quality items for not only you and your family, but friends, and at cheap prices. So shout out to her for continued amazingness, the way that she carries herself, her nonprofit, and just excellent at being a great friend and supporter. So thank you all for continuing to be a part of this, and we appreciate you guys. So let's go ahead and bring her on. She's been waiting. She's getting her nails done right now. We doing something different. I ain't never had someone come on getting their nails done, but hey, she's a busy woman. She's got things to do. And so we're going to make this thing happen right now. So welcome, Coach Kammmm, to the building.
Hi, how are you?
Yo. Can you hear me okay?
Yes,
I am doing okay. I am here at his house. How are you today?
I am doing very, very well. Thank you. Like you mentioned, I am getting my nails done. So that's why I'm positioned like this. But it's good.
Yeah.
This is better that way.
Absolutely. Well, first off, I just want to let you know that I am truly thankful to have you here with us today. I have been watching you for a long while, and I still remember the first video that I watched of you just going through your routines with your people, and you was with this really really big guy, and he was wearing this bodysuit, and he was just letting loose with all his power on this bodysuit, and I'm just like, damn, she's
Yeah.
really doing that thing. Where did this all
Well,
transpire? Where did it all start for you?
um, as far as being a boxing coach goes, or just going into boxing, period.
Going into boxing. Let's go there.
Uh, so basically, I've always been a fan of boxing since I was younger. But
Mhm.
we were Manny Pacquiao fans, still are, still is, and
Yeah.
I ended up going into boxing because of a really really bad relationship I was in. I was in a very abusive relationship with my ex fiance.
Mm.
So I saw boxing as a way to help defend myself and to bring back this part of me that I lost in that
Mm.
relationship, my strength, my just who I was as a woman. And I know
Mhm.
boxing, you're probably thinking like, well, why boxing? I just saw the strength that it gave to people, not just women, but to people in general.
Yeah.
And it's been a journey since I've started. So yeah.
Well, I commend you for just throwing that little tidbit, because I know it's really hard to talk about situations when it comes to someone that you have, basically fallen in love with and thought that you would be with for the rest of your life, and then come to find out there's a different person outside of the person that you thought you was with. Can you just do you mind touching on what exactly transpire for you to say, you know what, this has went from good to bad to worse, and I need to do something about it before it's too late? What were the signs that led you to say, you know what, this is what I got to do next, moving forward?
Well, at first, a lot of the abuse was really mental, and then it
Yeah.
turned into verbal, more so like outwards. It started happening more and more around like other people, and
Mhm.
then just one day he snapped and he put his hands on me to where I thought I was like, yo, this I'm about to die right now, like
Mhm.
in all seriousness. But I remember like there was this one time my son was in the house with us, and it was just the way that my son was very small at the time, but it was just the way that my son had looked at me. And I thought to myself, if I don't get out of this relationship, nobody's gonna be there for my son when
Yeah.
he grows. Nobody is gonna, show him the love that I'm supposed to show him because I'm his mom. And if I
Yeah.
allow the
Yeah.
person to take that away from my own child, then what kind of person does that make me? So
Absolutely.
that was
Absolutely.
that was the turning point for sure, right there.
Well, you know what? I'm glad that you found that edge to say, you know what, my son is the most important thing in my life. It's time for me to get it right and then get up out of this situation. And so, if it wasn't for that, we wouldn't have you here today, and you wouldn't have made so many amazing fans all across the country. Made so many people, young kids, see something amazing in you as a role model, as a teacher, as a friend, as basically like a mother figure to these young ones. Like, how amazing is it to watch? Because I seen one of your videos. You was with this really small, petite little girl, and she was like going heavy. She was really fast. I was like, man, she's really good. How does it make you feel when you see the things that you are teaching come to fruition? And watch them grow. How does that make you feel inside?
Yeah, it just honestly like it's so fulfilling for me
Yeah.
as a person. I told one of my friends this. I said I wanted to adopt a lot of kids. I wanted to
Hmm.
adopt a lot of kids, and I guess in this form, this was God's plan of me
Yeah.
having more children. So just mentoring them in boxing and showing them the sport in the best way that I know how, because I don't know everything, right? But
Right.
knowing what is being taught to me, I share that gift with everyone, especially the little
Hmm.
kids. So, and
Absolutely.
I can't even tell you how many parents will call me and they'll say, Coach Cam, I can't reach my child. You know, they won't listen to me. I feel like
Hmm.
just by watching your videos, you're gonna make them listen, or they'll
Yeah.
do what you tell them to do, or you'll impact them in some kind of way. And just to know that and just to hear that, it it's really gratifying. It's amazing.
That's amazing. That's so amazing. And you said something about, God and how important it is to, follow his kind of his lead, so to speak. How important is your faith to everything that you do? From the boxing to mentoring and doing, because I know you talk to kids as well. How important is your faith to them?
It's very important. It's very important. If it wasn't for my faith, I really wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be
Mm,
here. So, um,
absolutely.
yeah, I I've been told before, like the way that I hold mitts, I know I get loud and I'm screaming at the time, but I was told a while ago that that was my form of worship because of all the hardship that I've been through. So,
Mm,
and I
mm,
agree with that wholeheartedly. I believe that.
absolutely. So I know I jumped into the middle and didn't start where I thought I was gonna start, but because I just felt like, yo, let's just get into it. That it was important to just go with it. One of the questions that I wanted to ask you from the very beginning is, I'm sure you hear it all the time. What's your nationality? Filipino, full Filipino?
Full Filipino. Yes,
Uh, right on, right on. Okay. I'm sure people ask you that all the time. Like, yeah.
they do. Yeah, they do. I get like Hawaiian, Samoan. I don't know where
Yeah.
this people think I'm mixed. I'm just like, where? I tell them so, but it's a fun guessing game, I guess. So
Yeah. Yeah. So, tell us about your upbringing. Were you born and raised in the, Cali, or were you born and raised in the Philippines? Where were you born and raised from? How was the family life growing up?
I was born in the Philippines. We rode a boat to New Jersey when I was 7, and
Okay.
from 7 till 11, I was in Jersey, and then I moved
Yeah.
to Cali, and I've been here ever since.
Okay. Okay. So when you got to Cali, how old were you when you got to Cali? You was high school, maybe?
Yeah, well, I was going into the last year of middle school.
Oh, okay. Okay. S- So tell me about, what did you want to be when you think back to, as you were getting older, you got into high school and you was like, hanging out, whatnot, and everybody's talking about what they're gonna do after high school. What was your first thing that you thought of? This is what I'm gonna be when I get done with high school.
I didn't really have a choice to
Yeah.
what I was supposed to be growing up. My family is very, very particular about my future.
Okay.
My
Yeah.
Filipino, and I was supposed to be a doctor. So I was supposed to be a nurse
Oh,
and then a doctor, which I ended up going to school for. I,
okay.
yeah, I had no plans. Even if I did have a plan on what I wanted to be growing older, those plans
Yeah.
were cut. It was like my mom told me, she was like, "No, you're about to be a doctor, and you're going to be a surgeon just like me." Because to her, that's where all my family is. All the women in my family are
Mhm.
nurses and doctors,
That's cool.
medical field. Yeah, but when I was in medical school, or I'm sorry, when I was in nursing school, I was like, I can't do this. I can't do this. This
Yeah.
isn't what I want to do. This isn't what I love. And yeah, so I have my nursing license, but I'm not a
Oh,
nurse. So
yeah. Well, at least you have it though. It's something to fall back on, in case, something, knock on wood, something derails with, what you're doing. But obviously we know, you're doing a great job, and it shows by the amount of support and love that is given to everything that you do every time you post something. I get a link and I check it out, and I'm sure there's hundreds of thousands of people that do the exact same thing that I do. I take tips. I mean, when I was young, my dad actually gave. I have three brothers. That was Boxing was one of the things that we learned at a very young age. That my dad gave us all gloves and said, "Go box." So that we would know how to protect ourselves, self defense, in case because we lived in the tough part of town, and so boxing was always something that I was really into, and so for me it was such an amazing thing to watch you do your thing, because even with my girls, I try to get my girls, because I got a heavy bat, a speed bat right outside of my door. I try to get them on it as well to protect themselves, because you just never know.
Right.
You never know who you can run into in the streets, or even at school, or wherever you're at. People are just crazy nowadays. But it's so cool to watch these people, from young ones to the tall, big buff ones, just follow your lead. Um, how hard was it in the very beginning when you chose to follow this path to be accepted by?
Well, wow. It was
Yeah.
very, very hard. It was a lot of, I'm not gonna, lie to you. I didn't know how to go about it at first.
Mhm.
I was being led in different directions. I
Mhm.
knew that I wanted to help people, but
Yeah.
I knew I wanted to learn the sport inside and out, and I also wanted
Mhm.
to build fighters and help fighters grow. So the way that I was kind of maneuvered at first was more social media.
Mhm.
So a lot of these professional boxers and these professional boxing coaches looked at me like, what is she doing? Like, look at
Yeah.
her.
Yeah.
She don't know what she's
Mhm.
doing, which I didn't. But for me, it was more so like, well, instead of you talking about me, why don't you help me? Why don't you help me figure it out? Why don't you help
Yeah.
give me advice instead of sitting there like a little girl and speaking about me in that way? But
Right.
the men is the biggest obstacle that I've ever had to face in this sport. The things they
Right.
say about me behind my back versus what they say to me to my face.
Yeah.
It's just like, hey, if you think I'm a threat, then say that. Don't don't speak about me in a negative manner. I'm a woman. Don't do that.
Absolutely. You get more respect when you just come out and say what it is, instead of going behind somebody's back and trying to be your friend and be there. They try to be your friend in your face, but then as soon as you turn the corner, they saying all these things.
Right.
Yeah, I definitely hear you on that one. So, how often do you have guys, or even females, because I'm sure you get it from females as well, come in there and work with you and turn it from work to trying to
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
basically come on to you? Because I'm sure you deal with that a lot as well.
That question made me cough, man. No, it's all the time. It's all the time. Like whether it's I've had phone. I used to have my phone number on my Instagram, and then I took it off because that was my form of line of business of communication to
Yeah.
me. But it always starts off as like, "Hey, do you coach boxing?" And it's like, "Yeah. How can I help you?" And then
Yeah.
they'll take. I've even had guys go so far as to pay for a whole month, and then because they paid for a whole month, they feel like I owe them a date or something, and I'm just like,
Right.
is this real? Like, I've had guys come up to my gym and bring me so much stuff, like, and expect me to give them something in return.
Right.
Phone calls. It's just it's wild. It's wild, and it
Yeah.
still is that way till today. I've thankfully I've learned to maneuver through it better now. But in the beginning, I was so overwhelmed by all the
Yeah.
attention getting. I was overwhelmed completely. But yeah, to answer your question, a lot. 90% of the guys that follow me
Mhm.
have popped in my DMs or my email or have tried to call my phone. And that's not just regular guys, that's professional fighters, professional
Wow.
athletes, actors.
And have they all been guys that have been single, or are you talking about all of them? Period.
I wouldn't know. Like, I don't do that much research to find out. So
Oh, okay. Yeah, makes sense.
who knows? Who knows? I'm not sure. So I
So let me ask you this, because I'm sure you probably dealt with this as well. Have you ever been in a position where you're working in in your home, your boxing sanctuary, and someone has came at you side eyed, and you almost got into an altercation with someone? Has anything like that ever happened?
yes, yeah, yeah. Partner used
Male or
male.
male or female? Oh, okay.
Yeah, my old business partner used to do that to me all the time, and I never really understood why until I further found out that he was very envious of a lot of the things that I had going on, and I mean, which is I understand it, you know.
Hmm.
A lot of again, like I said, a lot of these coaches who've been boxing or training in boxing for such a long time, they don't
Hmm.
get the recognition that I get, or they don't get the opportunities that I get, and they always chalk it up to me being a woman. Oh, she's
Mm.
only moving so fast because she's a woman. Well, I'm sorry that you're not a woman and things aren't moving fast for you. I found something that
Yeah.
works for me, so maybe you should do the same, right? So
Absolutely. Sometimes it's not necessarily about male or female, it's how you work and how you carry yourself, more than anything. Yeah, women and men are two different people, but at the same time, if you work hard, you dedicate yourself and you put forth a great product, people are going to support you.
right.
Same goes if you're a box, if you're a cow, if you're a chicken, and whatever you do, you put forth the effort to be the best at what you are and what you love, and you put your mind and effort to, then people will support you. It's not always about male or female. And just wanted to put that sidebar up in there for those that think that it's all about you know male or female, because we all can coexist in whatever form of work we do. It's such an amazing thing to see women making so many moves to be relevant, because a lot of time men think that they control everything. Women should be in in the house, being housewives and doing all that, and that's not the case. Like, I pride myself in trying to tell my kids to strive to be the best at everything, not just one thing, but everything that they do. Whatever they want to do. If it's singing, my girls can blow. They're all amazing singers. Be the best at that. If it's playing soccer, because I have soccer players, be the best at that. Don't let the fact that you're a woman, you know, be your crutch. You should make it be the best thing about you. Yeah, I'm happy to be a woman and I'm great at it. Support me for who I am and what I'm all about. Period.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a beautiful thing. So Coach, I know that you've been really busy. I know that you've been really moving. What is your next step? Like, what is something that we can look forward to seeing you do? Are you planning on doing anything, like on the TV scale with what you got going on? Can we look forward to any of that? Because I think you've been making some pretty major moves, and I think it'd be cool to see you on one of these little side shows where they have these little pre, these amateur boxing events. You know what I'm saying? Have you ever thought about doing something like that?
Yeah, so I do have 8 amateur fighters. I actually, one of my fighters is fighting in a week and a half. So
Okay.
the little girl that you spoke of, she
Yeah.
won her fight a few weeks back. Um, one of the biggest news that I have right now is that I am going to open a gym with
Oh,
actually,
wow.
yeah, yeah. So he is actually a world champion. His name is Brandon Adams. So we have
Okay.
partnered up and we're going to open a gym. We plan on killing the game. We plan on killing,
Wow.
making sure that we really have a place for people to feel safe, for people to feel at
Yeah.
home, and it'll home amateurs, professionals, and just regular people that want to take boxing as a place to feel free. So
That's
that's
awesome.
perfect. Yeah, yeah. So that's what we're doing right now, and
Nice.
uh, I do have a fighter. Well, he's not so much as my fighter, but he's Brandon's fighter. He's Mongolian.
Hmm.
We call him D. He has a fight coming September 10th, so we're preparing for that. So it's just a lot of things going on. Uh,
Yeah.
we're just trying to step up this ladder, if you may.
Yeah.
Mhm.
One step at a time, you know. Put all the cards together and then you guys will make your move, which is cool. I mean, that sounds awesome, and I'm really excited to see that come into fruition and pop off. I'm sure it's going to be one of the hottest tickets on the street. You
Yeah.
know, and I know me personally, I really would like to just, at some point venture down and just kind of see you in action. I know that's something that, I know it's going to take me a little bit to do that, but I do a lot of traveling and I go a lot of places, and I visit a lot of people, and so one day I'm gonna head on down there and just say what's up, and I'll let you know when I'm in the area because I got some time saved up, some frequent flyer miles saved up to head down to the Cali. I drove down there a couple times too. It's fun, but anyways, that's beside the point. So let me give you a few scenario questions because I like to
Oh,
to you know scenario questions,
scenarios.
couple scenario
All right, let's go.
scenario questions. These are I try to do this a lot because I really want people to think about situations, and you may have already been in these type of situations before.
Okay.
So first one is, you're talking to a bunch of kids, from 9 to 16-year-old kids about boxing, and just how important it is to work on your self defense. And one of the kids come up to you, a young boy comes up to you, he's 13 years old, comes up to you afterwards, and he just kind of starts crying and telling you about his home life and how his dad beats on him, and he has bruises on his back, and um, he lifts his shirts up and he shows you the bruises on his back. What do you tell this young man?
Wow. Well, for the record, no, that's never happened. I don't. Seriously, what would I tell this young man? I wouldn't
Yeah,
even
how
think. I would call the police. I wouldn't.
okay.
I wouldn't even. I mean, first and foremost, I would ask him how he's feeling. Besides the fact,
Hmm.
obviously, he is crying, but I would ask him to use his words so
Yeah.
he make sure he articulates what's going through his head and his heart, right? And then I would ask
Hmm.
where his dad is, how long he's been going through this, and I would make sure that he felt safe sharing that information with me. Because I
Yeah.
know a lot of times kids don't speak up because they don't feel like they can, right?
Right.
And that's one of the
Yeah.
things that I teach when I train my kids. I go, your voice is important too. It doesn't matter how old
Yeah.
you are. It's very
Absolutely.
okay for you to say something when something's not right. Um,
Hmm. Absolutely.
But man, that's a tough one. I definitely will make sure that he feels safe. That's the most important thing. And then
Oh, cool.
getting to the bottom of it would be the next step. Yeah.
Perfect. Perfect. All right. Good answer. Great answer. Great answer. So this next one, it's you can go about it whichever way you want. I'm gonna try and lighten it up so it's not as heavy. Uh, but you've been working with this young girl since she was you know 7 years old. She's now 16. She has made it all the way to high school. She's doing really well. She enjoys boxing. It's a big thing in her life. Her parents are no longer supporting her boxing career, and she can no longer afford to pay for any services for boxing. She's not working. She's 16 years old. She's still in school, but she really wants to be a part of it. What do you how do you respond to her? What do you say to her?
Well, that's easy. That's easy. Do you know that I pick my kids up from their homes right now just so they can train? I train them at their house. There's so many other options other than paying me for my services.
Yeah,
I've been with
yeah,
this girl for how long? And you mean to tell me that her parents can't pay for it and I can't now do my part to where this makes
right.
it more comfortable for this child to live out her dream and what she really wants to do? Like whatever I need to do as a coach, I'm gonna make
Hmm.
sure I do. There's
Mm.
nothing that's gonna stop me from continuing to help any of these kids from doing this. I have a car, I have the money, we're gonna figure it out. So like I said,
That's awesome.
having these kids is like me being their other parent. So if I took on that role and I'm gonna fulfill it. So
That's awesome.
yeah.
That's beautiful. That's amazing to hear. Because there's a lot of people that do go through trying times, and would love to be in stuff like this. Like I never had that opportunity to. My parents just never had the money to put us through that kind of thing. So we had to figure it out on our own. But to hear that there are people that are willing to help is a beautiful thing, especially for people out there that are watching that are unable to, necessarily, um, you know, have the funds to support something, beneficial to them in more ways than one. It's not just about the boxing part, but it's the leadership, the family, feeling like team, oriented, and so many things that you get out of it,
Yes.
and so, yeah, absolutely. That's beautiful. So I got one more, and then I'll be done.
Okay.
Um, I'll be done with the questions. So here we are. We're doing our thing. You have this young lady, brand new young lady. She's about 22 years old. She's hungry. You see her in the gym. She's got all the tools to be the next, champion. And you start working with her, and then after your first day working with her, you guys work together 2 good hours, and she goes hard in the paint. And she comes over to you afterwards, and she's just like, "I'm in this situation and I fight with my boyfriend every night.
Mm.
That's why I got these hands. But I want to get out, but I'm afraid." What do you tell her?
So you made the last question hit home, huh? Okay.
Just a
Uh,
little bit.
oh, well, nobody can really tell you how to get out of a situation besides yourself. The situation could be so terrible,
Mm,
but once you figure out that you are worth so much more than what you settle for, then that'll be the only time you'll be able to leave. Because I'm going to tell you the reason why it took me so long to leave the situation that I was in is because of the mental aspect of it. I didn't think I deserved better.
Hmm.
So I thought that that was the only man that I could ever have,
Hmm.
could accept me. And even though he was putting his hands on me or whatever the case was, he still loved me. How crazy does that sound? Right?
Right.
So I think the moral of this story is you have to really understand how to love yourself before
Hmm.
you anybody else to love you the way that you deserve to be loved.
Yeah.
Once
Yeah.
you figure that out, then you'll be able to get out of that situation. Because I
Hmm.
can talk to a woman, which I have, till my
Yeah.
face is blue about her being abused and her going through what she's going through. But she'll listen and then she'll go back. She'll listen and then she'll go back. And it's kind of like, man, listen, you're gonna have to figure out how worthy you are to leave this situation. Like you have to know the importance of how worthy you are. So yeah, that was
Hmm.
a hard one. My goodness.
So I mean, I think some of the hardest questions, um, bring out the best answers and the most necessary answers for the people that are in those situations as we speak, that are listening as we speak, that are hurting as we speak. And so for me, I really pride myself on trying to help people, in any way that we can. You know what I'm saying? And so um, I I had to go there because I know how hard it was for you, and how you feel now is hopefully what we're trying to create for others,
Yeah.
is a positive. We don't want to hear these stories about our friends being with someone and being shot and killed, and being in those situations anymore. We want to push that self-love and believing in yourself. And there are millions of people on this earth. We don't have to be confined to one that does not want to treat us fair. And so I just felt like it was important for us to touch on that just a little bit, because women are, to me, the most beautiful creatures on this earth. And if if there's a man that is choosing to try and damage God's creation, he ain't no man. He's a boy, and he needs to be checked. And hopefully we continue to create a positive place for women to know that it's okay to be alone, and it's okay to not necessarily be stuck in these situations. So I got four girls that I have to look after, and eventually they're going to get old and move on. So uh oh, did we lose her? Are you there?
Yes. Yes. Someone called me. I apologize.
No, it's
I'm
all
so
good. It's all good. You are
my
perfectly
goodness.
fine. I
We're
just
doing
I just
fine. I'm getting a phone call and then getting that call.
Hey, and you know what? It's all good. At the end of the day, I'm just thankful that I got this opportunity to get with you. I know we tried this once before, and you're a busy woman, and I get it, and I respect that, and I know it's all for the positive, all to the good. Like everything that you're doing is amazing. All I can say is keep doing it. We are watching. I commend you for being such an amazing role model for women, for 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 people, and so just keep doing what you're doing. I love it. I love it.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank
So do you have any questions for me before I let you go? Because I always ask everybody, do you have a question for me?
I want to thank you for this opportunity. I'm humbled. Thank you for letting me be heard and seen.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I appreciate you.
No worries. I appreciate you. Keep doing it. I'll be watching, and I'll be sending a shout out every time I look at one of your feeds. I just give you a thumbs up or salute. Because I appreciate everything that you're doing. For you know the Northwest. you know.
Yeah.
So on behalf of the circle, we appreciate you. We love you, and we will be around. Maybe we'll come back to this, and in a few months, once you guys finally get that thing on and popping and see how everything is going. So we can do a re-up in a few months or whatnot. So we'll look into that. So guys, thank you all so much for watching. We're gonna go ahead and finish this up for the day. Thank you again, Cam. You're amazing, and keep pushing for the people. You got it, and it's definitely working. Um, Next week we're going to be with another coach, a local coach, good friend of mine, Mr. Dennis Sablon. He is a motivational speaker and also a coach for the kids on the football field. It's football season, so he's working really hard, and he's excited to share some of the things that he's been doing in the community and around the West. So we'll be with him next week. So thanks again, everybody, for watching. We will see y'all next week. Take care.